Today, guys, we got to talk about a little bit of sad news, at least sad news for me personally, because one of my favorite players to watch in recent NFL history has retired. He retired either a couple days ago or yesterday, something. He retired sometime in the last week. I can't remember exactly when he announced it, but Ted Ginn Jr. has officially announced his retirement from the NFL. And I said at the beginning, this is a sad day for me. This is sad news for me because obviously, if you guys don't know, Ted Ginn Jr. is a former Ohio State Buckeye. I watched him. He was really one of that class, the 2005, 2006 Buckeyes. Those Buckeyes are the ones that I actually first started paying attention to when I started watching football. And so Ted Ginn was on those Buckeye teams, and especially the team that went to the national championship and lost to Tim Tebow in the game in Florida. Those Buckeye teams I started watching, and Ted Ginn was a big piece of those teams. And then he gets drafted top 10 in the NFL draft, number 9. I think he's pretty sure he was number 9, taken by the Dolphins in the 2007 draft. I'm sure a lot of people forgot about that. You guys forget about that? I did. I remember him getting picked top 10. I think it was not. Maybe it was 8. I don't know. It was top 10 for sure that he got drafted to the Dolphins. And he spent 14 seasons in the NFL. He didn't have the greatest NFL career. He was productive. He had his moments. He had his splashes of greatness, especially with like kick returns and punt returns. That was more of his speed. That's what he did a lot in college. And he had his time where he was a decent receiver. He spent a couple years in Miami. He spent a couple years in San Francisco and in New Orleans, Carolina. He spent, I think he was just on, what team was he on last year? I think he was just on like the Pack. No, not the Pack. What team was he on? Was he on the Bears last year? I think he was on some sort of NFC team like that. The Bears maybe might have been, but I'm sad. It's a sad day when a Buckeye retires in the NFL, and it's especially sad day when it's one of my favorite Buckeyes retires in the NFL. And Ted Ginn Jr. was never going to be a Hall of Famer. He wasn't in the NFL at the right time. If Ted Ginn Jr. came out right now from Ohio State, then he would be in the same situation probably with Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel and Michael Thomas and all these Buckeye wide receivers that have come out in recent memory and have had productive careers so far in the NFL. I feel like Ted Ginn would fit right into that mold because he kind of fits like a Curtis Samuel or a Terry McLaurin. He's kind of that receiver. He was them before they were in Ohio State or in the NFL. So to have Ted Ginn's career, I mean, for what it was a solid NFL career. It was nothing special. There was no Super Bowl victories in there. There was no 1,000-yard receiving seasons in there. I don't think. Maybe he got one in Miami. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But there was no big accolades for Ted Ginn Jr. There was no anything really. His career was good. It was a good NFL career. It was 14 seasons. He played 14 years in the NFL. That's hard to do. It's hard to play 1 year in the NFL. But he played 14 of those things. And he was a solid contributor. He was maybe not so much at the end, but in the beginning he was pretty productive. And so it's just a little bit sad because Ted Ginn Jr. is that, like I mentioned, he's that part of that first group of players from Ohio State that I actually like connected with and I actually followed and watched, because at that point in 2005, 6, 7 was when I was starting to grow up and understand what football was and understand that it wasn't just like two colored jerseys running after each other. Like when you're a little kid, you don't understand it. When you get a little bit older, like I was in those years, I was starting to actually comprehend what was going on, and I was comprehending who were good players, who were bad players. And Ted Ginn, and he was probably one of my favorite Buckeyes in a long time. And in my opinion, this might be a little bit of bias because of the sentimental value that I have for Ted Ginn, but he probably is top 5 favorite Buckeyes of all time, just because I don't know what it is. I've always loved Ted Ginn Jr. I don't know if it's because he's fast or what, but I've always liked Ted Ginn Jr. I hope he has a great retirement. I don't know what he's going to do after retirement. Maybe he'll just sit back and relax. I mean, he played 14 seasons in the NFL. I'm sure he's tired. So I just want to say, Ted Ginn Jr., if you ever come across this video, I just want to say that thank you for the 14 years of NFL greatness that you put up, at least in my opinion, the greatness, the productivity that you put up in the NFL. And I want to wish you a great retirement and life after retirement. So that's it. That's really all that I had to say about it. I just was a little bit upset and a little bit sad that I saw the news that Ted Ginn Jr. retired, and I wanted to talk about it. So I don't know if you guys care about Ted Ginn Jr. You probably might not even know who he is, really. That's understandable because he wasn't really the biggest name out there and stuff. He wasn't a household name on any team that he was ever on. So it's just a little bit sad. So let me know down below if you guys are sad about it, if you guys don't care. It's totally fine if you don't care, because I'm assuming a lot of people don't care, because a lot of people probably don't even know who Ted Ginn Jr. is. So let me know down below what you guys think, if you guys had any opinion on it. And that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. Make sure to smash that like button, notification bell, and the subscription button as well. Join the Juice Club, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.